Let me know we got a notification.
Welcome back to another Coffee with Joy. I'm your host, Joy. And remember, this is a weekday. It is Coffee with Joy. I'm so excited to have my guest, Mickey, as we talk about As We Never Left. I'm going to talk to this one man who single-handedly have brought so many women into modeling and who have done great things. How did he do it? Stay tuned after these messages.
Our mission focuses on showcasing local and global talent of all ages on and off the field. We will strive to inspire, educate, and bridge the divides through our media collaboration. Our goal is to give student athletes and coaches the platform to let their talents be seen and a platform for the community to let their voices be heard. This is the Union Media Group.
Welcome back to Coffee with Joy. I'm so excited to have my guest, Mickey. We're going to bring him on. He's going to tell us a little bit about himself, and then we're going to jump right into it. Hello there, Mickey. How are you?
Hey, Joy, I'm good. How are you?
Good. So, can you tell people a little bit about yourself, and we're going to jump right into it?
Oh man. Okay. Well, I'll give you the short version, right? So,
Yes.
my name, I'm Mickey Leon. I am actually from the 757 area of Virginia, but I reside in the DMV area. Photographer, entrepreneur, event producer, and cybersecurity expert as well. So that's the short version.
Yes, always a great short version. People understand it quickly and expeditionally, of course. So now, Mickey, as we talked about, as we never left, we know the pandemic has put a crush on District of Curves. What was going through your head when you started this, when you started District of Curves and all of a sudden the pandemic came and you couldn't operate? What were you thinking?
Well, I'm gonna be honest, Joy. Like, District of Courage. We started a while ago. This is actually year 9, right? But the pandemic did happen. But in 2018, I had decided that I was done with District of Curves. I wasn't gonna do it anymore. It's a very big show that year, and I said no. And then we came back in 2019, and we partnered with the mall, the mall in Pentagon City. So, I was kind of like on the fence about it. Are we going to do it next year? The mall was happy. Simon Malls, they wanted us to keep going. And then the pandemic hit. So for me, I felt like that solidified, like, okay, it's time to stop. It's time to take a break, because it's a big undertaking trying to put on a show like this. So the pandemic for me was a break as far as District of Curves was concerned.
So now that we here, as we never left, so how did you want it to regain and start, even knowing that in 2018 you was like, this is it. God is saying, no, we want more. How did you start and how did you want to regain District of Curves as we enter into 2023?
So, after taking that break, being able to sit down, listen to myself and listen to everything going on around me, it just hit me, like I don't know, I had people in my ear, trying to tell me start it back up. And then I didn't feel like the time was right. And then I don't know, probably January-ish, I said, well, if I could find a venue, then I'll do it. I was thinking I was going to find a venue that was going to be right. So I found a venue and then things started coming together, but overall, I wanted to bring the community back together in the DMV area. One thing that happened with District of Curves was that we brought people together.
Right.
There were friendships made, there were partnerships made in business. And I felt like that was missing, or that had kind of went away during the pandemic and the years without it. So that's what made me decide, ultimately, let's bring it back.
Now, as I stated before, you single-handedly have brought so many women and men, I want to make sure we don't leave out men, into modeling. Now, how do you feel about that, knowing that many women who never even know where modeling began, didn't even have an idea, but you still took on so many amateurs, and now these amateurs have went on to be professionals. Now, how did you feel about that, and what do you say to someone who's probably trying to be a model and probably, thinking, oh, I'm not too good, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to start? What would you say to that young woman or man? And when I say young, I don't mean in age, I mean in modeling.
So first, it makes me feel good to see people be able to realize their dreams, use my platform to realize their dreams and move forward. Because that's the whole point. There's a whole goal, to be able to give women who are not traditional models, they may be too big, too short, to give them a platform and an opportunity to realize their dreams. So that makes me feel great, when that happens. And then to somebody who is, thinking to themselves, I can't do it, I'm not good enough, I'm not this, I'm not that, I would say, just do it anyway. There are platforms out here now, District of Curves being one of them. Do it anyway, because you don't know what you don't know. So get out there, do your research, find out, kind of what the standards are, and then just go for it.
Now, if you had to compare and contrast with your, with District of Curves from the very first to now, how different? Of course, there's much difference, right? From the very first time that you started back over 9 years, we're going to include the pandemic, because again, no monkey don't stop no show, right? Because as long as you're here, you still can rock, right? From the very first show up until now, what difference have you seen, and what will you change, if any, between your first to now as you enter into your 9th season?
So one of the big things is like production value. When we started doing this, it was really more so to have fun and to give people a platform, for what they wanted to do. So over the years, we've production has changed. We put more emphasis on quality. We put more emphasis on being able to create visuals and whatnot that live on after the show. What we found is like YouTube, our YouTube channel, we have 75,000 subscribers and over 25 million views. And, that is something that lives on later. So in this social media era, in this era of video and content, that is probably
Right.
one of the biggest things that we've shifted towards, is making sure that we have good visuals. You know, I could have nobody in the room
Right.
there watching the show, but that show is still going to look good and it's going to go up online and everybody around the world is going to watch it.
Yep. And before we go any further, I just want to make sure. Thank you, Mickey. Mickey has put his spectacles on just like myself. You know, of course, we started this glasses trend, people. So if you have your glasses, please make sure you put your little focals on. They're great for the show. But yes, I just want to make sure we point that out. But now, you know, District of Curves really has helped many women and men really zone in and hone in onto their modeling skills. What have you done as far as bringing in coordinators or bringing in workshops to really enhance their ability to move forward, so that they can and will learn techniques as they move forward? What have you done within the DMV? Because I want to make sure that it's not only girls that you men. When I say men, when I say women, I'm talking about men and
Right.
women. So if I leave out the men, it's not you. I'm saying women, people. But as
Right.
you're dealing with the men and women, that you dealing with women who come from all over the nation just to walk, right? So, like, what are
Right.
some things that you do to really enhance their ability to be better, to do better?
So we have brought in model coordinators over the years. And, you know, the one thing about District of Curves is that, you know, a lot of people, they get out there, they model, they want to play around and have fun and everything, which we want you to have fun. But as the models quickly realized with DOC, is
Hmm.
it's work. You know, we're gonna
Right.
make you work. You know, so we brought in, you know, from Keisha Hardison, Fashionista Model Coordinator Inc. in the very beginning, to Asha Smith with Ray Usair School, and, you know, Ray Davis, and now we have Jeannie Ferguson. You know, we have had some amazing model coordinators that have helped these models and District of Curves get to the place that they want to and need to be. So, you know, they come in and they find out, it's like we put them through boot camp, you know.
Right.
um and that is really what makes the connection between the ladies and the show, you know, because it's in those sessions, in the modeling, you know, the model coordinator rehearsals, it's in those sessions where the ladies join together and the men join together and become friends and support each other and uplift each other as they're trying to make it through some of these grueling rehearsals. And Joy, you've been there, so you know, you,
Yes, people.
you you know. So yeah, that's the big thing. It's like, if you're going to give me your time
Yes.
and, you know, come out and do this, then I'm going to in turn give you something that's worth it. You know, so when you
Right.
leave here with District of Curves, you will leave a better model than you were when you got here.
And I definitely can contest to that, because I want people to understand that District of Curves is just not an organization where you just come and play, or you model one time and you just come to the show. No, there are protocols that are put in place to really not only help you build your character, build your career, but it really instills so many other skill sets that help you to build as an individual, as to print, as you're a photographer. And I know you've taken pictures of these models, how to pose, what needs to be done, what is that that you have to bring when you come to the rehearsal, or when you come to a modeling session. What is, you know, certain things. So people really have to understand Digital Curves is not only a show, but it's something beyond that, right? We really take the individual for who you are. I'm saying you are.
Are you family though? You family. So once you hear, you family. So you can say
Right.
we, because it's not just
Just a
it's not
disclaimer,
it's
people.
not me.
Right.
It's not me. This show is not about me at all. It's about
Y'all
y'all.
hear that? Y'all hear that? So it's really a family, and it's really taking in, and not just saying, hey, we just having a show, but we're really building up really taking individuals on to showing that, hey, it's more than just walking, it's more than just posing, but your character as an individual. Because I know, as much as we want to say that everything is always grand, everything is great, you dealt with some models that thought they was just high and bougie. They thought that, hey, oh, that's not right. That's not there. How have you dealt with those type of individuals and really tried to bypass them, even though they made it past the casting? Now they're here and their true colors have shown, and they really trying to put salt on injury, knowing that, whoa, okay, this is our organization. We're trying to make sure we form it correctly. So how do you combat that, and how do you fix, challenge yourself to fix individuals who trying to think they're, better than what the organization is bringing?
So the best way, honestly, we combat that with love,
Yeah.
love and education. Because if you're in the industry and you are a model and you are, educated on how this whole industry works, then you don't have that attitude, right? So when we run
Right.
across people who do have that attitude, usually it is because they are not educated as to what it
Mm,
actually takes to be a model.
right.
I have had an opportunity to meet, real working supermodels, Lyris Cross, Christina Mendez, really like pioneers in the industry. And they are some of the most humble people that
Hmm.
you will meet. So if I come across those people with those attitudes, we pour into them, with
Right.
nurturing, love, and if by chance that none of that actually works, and we have to part ways, then we'll part ways. But it's never any hard feelings, it's never
Right.
anything like that. And we always give everybody an opportunity, um, to correct themselves or do better. Sometimes it doesn't work. Um, but it's all love. And even those people, and it's only been a couple, even
Right.
they are still family. They are
Right.
still family, still love them. And if I can do anything for them down the road, I'll do anything for them down the road.
Yeah, and I just want people to understand that as much as everything on the outside once it's all done, it's like wow, you did such a great job, right? And not to zone in on anything negative, but as a producer like yourself who have to understand there's are the highs and lows. You have a lot of challenges that a lot of individuals do not get to see and probably would never be privy of, right? To know that not only do I have to combat your issues, but I have to make sure I maintain not only the models, but the designers, the building. It's so many small pieces that go on. Now, how do you delegate those positions and really stay sane? Because not only are you a producer of District of Courage, you're a father. You have your kids, and of course, you're a well-rounded individual who makes sure that you in your kid's life, you work and you do so many other great things, right? And of course, we could list them all. But how do you maintain and how do you delegate certain positions in order that the people that you love, that loves you, and that's going to help, move District of Curves? So how do you delegate those positions?
Yeah, so I have a great team, and I've had a great team over the years. People have come and go and whatnot, but
Mm,
it's a great team, and I try to utilize people's strengths. So when
right.
somebody comes onto the team, I will ask them, well, what are your strengths? What do you want to work? Because I don't want to put somebody in a position that does not work well for
Yes.
them. So I have model coordinator, I have my fashion director, I have like sponsorship people. I have people who work with media. I've had PR in the past. This year didn't have PR, but I had Monica. I mean, people know Monica. That's like my right hand, Monica Day.
Hmm.
Um, and Gabby Parker, who are my hosts, but they
Right.
also worked the PR angle and got us like 5 news appearances this year.
Right.
So and that was some of their strengths, talking to people, emailing, their strength. Jeannie Ferguson, model coordinator, she's amazing. And
Right.
working with the models and lending her expertise, it helps. Doretta Johns has been my fashion director from the beginning, and then even before that. So she's there with me and it helps. So, I just I've had a great team, and then again, it does help me be able to still be a father and not,
Right.
not neglect, my kids and not neglect my job and, just all those things.
And I mean, it's like a vital part of what you said is really knowing someone's strength, right? Because when that person's already able to do something and you give them that position, they're only taking their strength and really moving it forward, right? And then, of course, with the love that they have for you, it's only going to build up the organization. Because, of course, delegating is just not giving position. It's looking at the individual, what they possess, and how they're able to take what they already know and move forward. So, after these messages, we're going to continue to talk to Mickey, and we're going to talk about District of Curves. As you all know, the show is taking place this Sunday, July 23rd, if you're in the DMV. So stay tuned after these messages. Latest news, today's news, current news, gossip news, you name it. I am your host with Coffee with Joy as I share any up-to-date news that's taking place around the world. But if you would like to check it out, please make sure you go to my YouTube channel, Coffee with Joy, where I share the latest topic. I am your host with Coffee with Joy with today's topic. So we're just going to watch a quick promo video. As you all know, District of Curves is taking place Sunday, July 23rd.
It's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
So as you all see, of course, yes, let's give it up for Mickey and his team. Thank you, Mickey, of course. Now that we are here, we are ready to perform the next 96 hours. It's showtime, baby. So what has been the best thing as of coming back after, I won't say hiatus, because nobody was on a hiatus. The pandemic kind of put us to rest, but now that we back up. So what is the best thing that you look forward to of District of Curves as you premiere back on July 23rd of 2023?
Oh man, I look forward to the lights going down and the show starting. There is really no feeling that compares to when it finally starts, right? Because it's stressful leading up, especially this week. Like you just said, 96 hours, and I think I almost had a anxiety attack thinking about, like, oh man, like it's this week. But and then we get there. Yeah, we get there. We put all this work in leading up to it, and then when the lights go down and the show starts, it's just a whole different feeling because now we're in it. And that is really the thing that I look forward to the most. I always think back to my very first show with DOC, and many of y'all might know Shawnee. Shawnee is a model who's been with DOC for a long time, but Shawnee was my first model that came down the runway in my first show wearing an outfit from Ashley Stewart that I picked out and styled for her myself. And it was just amazing. And she walked, it was to Jay-Z, my favorite artist. And from somewhere it started raining in the room because, like, what I'm saying, it was like some water coming out of my eyes were sweating or whatnot, and it's just that feeling every time the show starts. So that is the one thing that I look forward to.
Phenomenal. It's just like, wow, it's showtime. Like, oh my God, all this hard work that you put into it, despite life, we know life is lifing, but despite life, to see that all the work is about to come at this sudden moment. Now, what has been the preparation like, as far as getting District of Curves together, as far as now that you're back out, as far as getting your designers, working with the models? How has that preparation been?
You know what? This year, I have to say, has probably been one of the, I'm not going to say easy, but one of the better years. And I will say, that is largely because of my team. And I'm going to tell you why. Like, I've had, like you said, life has been lifing, right? So, we started out strong early on in February, with promotion and just hitting the ground running. And then, I had a lot of life happen. My uncle died, and when my uncle passed away, because of the way that whole thing happened with leading up to it, and then everything afterwards, that took several weeks out of me where I was not able to be here, but my team kept things running. Like I wasn't able to be here, and then I rolled right into the end of school with my kids, and then we rolled into going on vacation. So we was gone, from the area. And without the team that I have now, I don't know what we would have done, So that preparation, I want to say, this has been one of the better yees because the team always holds it down. And I don't know shade to anybody. Right. My old team is watching it or sitting there like, what you mean? No, that's not what I'm saying. The foundation that y'all built, to my old teams, this team that I have now was able to come in on that foundation and keep things running and hold it down for me in a way that I had not needed before. No doubt that the other teams would not have been able, they would have been able to hold it down, but they built the platform, and this team was able to hold it down in a way that I never saw coming because I didn't expect to have to be out of pocket for this long.
Right. But now that you're here, like, what is like the number one position? Like, if you were to say, okay, here you are, here's the team. Like, what is the top position of DOC? If someone were to listen and say, hey, I would love to be part of your team, but what is the number one position or something that you need to really continue to help move DOC, despite of, even if you're there or not? What is that one position that you need in order to say, okay, this is what I need to move to the next level?
Honestly, there isn't one because it's everything happens simultaneously. So, my fashion director, my model coordinator, and then all the people that help me bring everything together, everything depends on each other. like my model coordinator can't do anything with models and fittings and all of that stuff without my fashion director.
Correct.
My fashion director can't give the designers the models that they need without my model coordinator. And then none of the other administrative things that bring it all together, none of that stuff can happen without everybody else that is working on it. So every position is vital. Like, you know, that people come, if somebody comes into a position, it's all vital. I mean, those positions are even more important in a lot of ways than just me,
Right. Right.
you know.
And I
You know.
say that because a lot of people think that you have to be an island to do everything, right? And you can't. Eventually, as you start to grow, you need people. And then,
You
as
do.
much as we want to sit here and think as one position is greater than something, it's not. Because again, the door is used for something. You know, the window is used for something. I cannot say the door is better than the window. I need both of them, right? As one may say, oh, the door is better than the window. Well, okay, that's in your eyes. But I need both because without as we start to think about building, we need to have a team because eventually you're going to find yourself getting tired. You're going to find yourself looking like, okay, why I'm not moving. And as yourself, you're a predecessor, you know, a successor, you may be looking for that predecessor, right? So how can you manage that and build that? Now, if somebody were to say, hey, in the next few years, in the next 5 years, where do you hope to see DOC? And short, DOC people is just a curve. Just want to make sure you all know that. But so in 5 years,
So
where do you see DOC?
in 5 years, I would like to see DOC um, maybe not run with me, you
Yeah.
know, still executive producer, but, you know, more people to be able to step in and make that show run really
Mhm.
independent of me. But I would like to see DOC on TV, honestly,
Yeah.
in 5 years. I would like to see DOC the same way we've seen Victoria's Secret fashion show, the same way we've seen,
Mhm.
you know, other shows on TV. I feel as though that is a place that I would love to see DOC, you know, and open the door for other plus size events, or if somebody else makes it on TV before me, follow in their
Yeah.
footsteps. But that is where I would like to see DOC and the plus industry as a whole, as you know, as a platform on television.
I think that's phenomenal because I know representation matters, and the more that they see a variation of plus size and not just one size, because again, everyone have this one idea what plus size look like. But when you have variation, it really gives the world, not just the nation, but the world to see that God has designed everyone differently and uniquely made. So when you get to see these different women across the board, it really amp another individual up, right? It really takes the next person to the next level. Like, wow, she looks like me. If she can do it, I can do it. So it really gives not only that hindsight, but it really builds up a motivation. It really gives that true representation within, and it builds up someone confidence to know that, hey, I have a replica out there that looks like me. And I know if they can do it, I can do it. Now, granted, maybe on a different pace, but it still give that eye. So I truly commend that. And I know there's a track record for that. I know that could definitely take place. You hear that networks, there's 7 networks. Anyone out there, if you hear, definitely please pick up DOC because it's definitely phenomenal. Now, have you been in works, or is just, something that's still in the planning as you move forward?
Yeah, no, I haven't been in works yet. You know, it's kind of one of them things that's in the, I'm not gonna say the back of my mind. It's probably in the middle of
Right.
my mind. You know, and every year I don't see anybody as competition. Like I don't compete with anybody. I've never done that.
Right.
My only competition is myself. So I always think like, well, what am I gonna do next to outdo myself? You know, and it's
Yeah.
never a year in advance. I'm always several years in advance. Like, you know, what are we gonna do to outdo what we did? You
Right.
know, so I don't, it's not in the works yet, but it's there. It's that, it's more than a seed now, you know. So I have to say that it's
Yeah.
more than a seed. You know, it's one of those things. I've been fortunate enough to, if I set my sights on something, a goal, um, it happens. You know, it
And,
happens. And
and the
again,
reason why I asked that because I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Mickey. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, you know, like I mean, if I'm, you know, DOC is the first like show to make it on television like that plus size show, then great. But if somebody else gets there before me, then hold the door for me because I'm coming. You know, and I'm gonna be there to support them too. And I'm coming.
No, I think I know for a fact that's definitely great because at the end of the day, when we see one that able to pull us up and move forward as we start to change, because as a entrepreneur, we always got to be on in the future. what is our next step? How do we get to move our organization to the next step? Because the goal is never to stay stagnant, right? Despite life, because no matter what, life is always going to life, but we have to, always plant our seed in different places on knowing that, okay, yes, it's planted now. It's an idea. It's not in the ground yet, but it's an idea. But I do know, okay, within 5 years, this is the next step that I would like to see my organization move. So I bring that up because I want people to hear that, yes, you never know who may come back and listen to Coffee with Joy, of course, and hear like, oh, wow, we're willing to take on to District of Curves, because everybody would love to be the first, right? And when I say everybody, meaning that whoever it may be, they would like to say, okay, we're the network. We're going to pull District of Curves on and see what type of, where does it go from here? How can we pilot this, or get you around the round table and really discuss, okay, how are we able, we can't pull all the females on. How can we infuse? But eventually we're in the door now. We're able to talk. So of course, so I commend you on that, because it's a great, great idea, and it's going to manifest. Now that you're out there, abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So you already told the atmosphere you're going to be out there. So we're going to return after these messages. As you all know, Chucks and Coffee Give Back is taking place on Sunday, October 15th. So we'll return after these messages.
I've been standing on the outside, looking in, now it's my time. You can tell them that I'm coming for 'em. God sent me, ain't no turn around. And I ain't leaving unless I'm bringing back a sword with me. Like I'm pulling spirits out the ground. I done seen enough to be a witness. And let me show you how I'm living now. And you can tell them that I'm coming. And you can tell them that you ought to know by now the streets ain't really loyal to you.
As you all know, Sunday, October 15th is Chucks and Coffee Give Back. As you know, our organization that pours back into the community, as we have Diva, the Diva Movement Association and Corporation, as part of the proceeds will help benefit the Diva Movement. Now, Mickey, how can people get tickets? How can they go about getting into District of Curves on Sunday, July 23rd, here in the DMV?
Well, as of right now, you can still go to districtofcurves.com and grab your ticket. Tickets are moving, and, our people like to move a lot more tickets in the last minute. So, more and more tickets are moving in the last minute. So, as of right now, there are still tickets left. By the time Sunday gets here, I don't know what to tell you. Front row tickets are gone, though. So you can't get a front row ticket now. Those are all gone. But general admission is still there.
But just to be in the building, people, go ahead, get the tickets. The tickets are still up. Hey, we told you there's still a few left. Just a few. A few is not a number, so I can't tell you how much is left. But a few is left. Definitely make sure that you go out and celebrate. Come out and see what District of Curves have brought as they are returning, and it's something grand for the DMV and beyond. Now, who are the designers that's coming in? I know you probably don't want to share, but if you would like to, just give us a few. You don't have to go through a slew of designers that's taking place. That's going to showcase.
No problem. And I don't have the whole list in front of me right now, but
just like 2 or 3.
I will say, so we have out of the 757 area, we have Dutch Rick Lamar, who has been in several shows. Like I think he just did was it Atlantic City Fashion Week, I believe, a few months ago. We have one of our veterans, Jess Dornisha. She's returning with us. And then we also have Kelly's Closet Lingerie. And we have Livy Ray Lingerie as well. So, like, if anybody's familiar with the Double Divas, that show that used to come on, Cynthia Decker and Molly Hopkins from Livy Ray out of Atlanta. So, they're some of the ones that we have. So it's gonna be a great show.
Now, we know it's too late to submit if any designers. Yeah, let's give it up for the designers and those who have not mentioned as well. Now, I know it's too late for designers to come in, but if designers would like to, if they want to, they just saying, hey, I would like to be a designer for next year, how would they go about contacting you? Or how would they go about submitting their referral if needs be?
So what they should do, definitely go to our website, districtofcurves.com. After this show is over, we'll have the new forms up for designers to be able to submit. You can also contact us on Instagram. Our Instagram is District of Curves. You can contact us on TikTok, same thing, or send an email to districtofcurves@gmail.com. But the most efficient way is going to be to, once this show is over, go to our website, districtofcurves.com, look for designer registration. and submit right then and there. The earlier you get in, the better the price will be for you as a designer.
Now, I know, of course, not you. I know you guys don't have this long, drawn out show, like 5-6 hours. Like, what is your cutoff for designers? Like, how many you say, okay, we're only going to have 5 designers or 10 designers? I don't know. So, as a person who's on the back end or outside looking in, that production I know is completely tedious. But how do you go about saying, okay, we're only going to do this X amount of designers and these type of designers? Like, how does that plan look like, if you don't mind sharing?
It just kind of comes, in my head. I always say we're going to do this small amount, and it ends up not being like altogether this year we have 12, which is very, very large. And we have 3 hours. So we have 6 to 9. And if you think about it, the way things work, that's a lot of designers, and the show has to cycle like that. So the selection process is really, we'd like to look at what the designers are bringing to the table. We like original pieces. We like things of that nature. So I've never really done a theme before.
Okay.
And I don't know that it's something that I would do because I don't want to stifle somebody's creativity. But we like authenticity. We like creativity. And we like genuine people. So, just because you sign up as a designer doesn't mean you're actually going to be accepted into the show. You sign up as a designer, and then we have to talk to you. We have to see what you're working with. We have to see if you're ready. If you're prepared, because you have to be able to outfit at least 10 ladies, or men, and your size range has to be right, because we don't just do one size. We try to fit as much of the plus spectrum as possible.
Right. And what is your plus range? If somebody did not know what is plus, what is your plus range for District of Curves?
So for us, we started at 10. Now industry, straight size, sometimes it's a 6, right? But for us, we started at 10. We have had an 8 before. Proportions count. So, we've had a woman who was a lot more top heavy, but she was a smaller waist. But, so we'll look at all of that. The main thing is like not traditional models. And then, so we don't have a cap on the top end, so 10 is the smallest all the way up to whatever size comes out, and then we try to make sure that our designers or retailers can accommodate those sizes.
Okay. Of course, people, we could talk about District of Curves. Please make sure you check out the website. Please make sure you get your tickets. Mickey, as we end the show, is there anything that you would like to leave with the people, like any affirmation that as you're a family man, you still, work, you still, have your production, as you still trying to maintain? Is there anything that you'd like to share with the individual who's probably on the same track as you?
I would say don't quit. Don't quit. And don't compare your journey to the next person's journey. Listen to yourself, listen to your body. Don't push yourself past what your body is going to allow. But at the same time, realize your dream, and nobody else is going to, you have some awesome people, but nobody else is going to love and cultivate your dream the way that you love and cultivate your dream. So don't quit. Don't compare yourself to the next person, because you have no idea how long it took that overnight success to become an overnight success. And your journey is not theirs. And your vision, God gave you your vision. He didn't give it to the next person. So don't expect the next person to always understand what it is that you're trying to do, because it wasn't given to him. It was given to you.
People, don't quit. Don't quit. Again, Mickey, thank you so much for being on Coffee with Joy. As you all know, our next guest that will be coming up tomorrow will be Drea. As we be talking about everything as fashion. She's a minister, and she just became a minister for her own church. So I look forward to talking to her as we move into all things pastoral, right? So if you would like to patronize Coffee with Joy, please make sure that you follow the link on the screen. We have our Cash App as well as our PayPal. Any donation will help. And as you all know, if it is a weekday, it is Coffee with Joy. Until then, live life on purpose. Talk to you all soon. Good night.
We kick it like no